Hi, good afternoon everyone. As we are approaching our special holidays coming up, the holiday of Sukkot, the holiday of Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, we just passed a big holiday, the holiday of Yom Kippur. Let's share a couple of words and live with something for the coming holiday that we should have, as we know that Zman Simchatenu is called this upcoming holiday, Chag Sukkot. And what is the Simcha? What is the great joy about this holiday? So much to explain and to talk about it, but just let's share something very short about that. And as we know, the holiday of Sukkot is the big mitzvah, is that we sit in a sukkah together. And the whole idea of sitting in a sukkah together is, as we know, a result of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as it says in the Pasuk, Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'keseh. The mitzvot of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is b'keseh, means concealed. Leyom chagenu. Yom means revelation, chagenu, and the holiday, that's the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot is the holiday that we reveal all the work, all the accomplishment that we did on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the real revelation on these holidays, that we're sitting in a mitzvah, in the mitzvah of Sukkah. As we know, the Pasuk says, V'yimino techapkeni, with his right hand he hugs me. At the right hand of Hashem, this is Hashem hugging us with his right hand in this holiday of Sukkot. And as we all know, that idea that the Sukkah represents the walls is the hand of Hashem. And when we sit in the Sukkah, we are being hugged with Hashem. And this is the beauty of this holiday, that 24 hours in the day, we can share the greatest mitzvah. And what kind of mitzvah? To sit in Hashem's arms. To sit, to enjoy, to learn, to eat, to farbring, and everything else. And all this is a mitzvah, because we are sitting in Hashem's arms. This is the mitzvah of Sukkot. And with this comes the second mitzvah, as we know, the mitzvah of the lulav, the arba minim, as we call it. And the arba minim, as we know, the mitzvah of unity. We're not going to get into it now. This goes on for 7 days. We have 7 days, as the Torah tells us, a mitzvah. And what is the mitzvah? A beautiful mitzvah. Just be together with God. Be in Hashem's arms. And that's why it's Chag Simchatenu. It's such a great, joyful holiday. What more joy can it be for a Jew that is being hugged in God's arms? 7 days, 24 hours a day, you're there with God. He's there with you. That's the beauty of this holiday. But then we come to day number 8. As the Torah calls it, Shmini Atzeret. The 8th day of Sukkot is a separate holiday, as the Talmud teaches us. Yet it's a continuation of Sukkot, but it's a very deep meaning, that holiday of Shmini Atzeret. What is that holiday? As the Midrash tells us, that Hashem tells Am Yisrael, I want one more day with you. Hashem had a good time with us for 7 days. And he says, I want one more day with you. And what Hashem says, the famous statement, Kashe halai pridatchem. It's very hard for me, very difficult for me, your separation. I cannot separate from you. And this is why Hashem says, let's have one more day. And that's the 8th day. Sukkot really is 7 days. And God adds an 8th day. When we call it Shmini Atzeret, the Torah calls it Shmini Atzeret. And that's the day that God symbolizes another holiday. For one reason, God says, it's hard for me to separate from you. And let's do it together. One more day. We sit in the Sukkah Shmini Atzeret. In Israel, did not sit in the Sukkah Shmini Atzeret. But a holiday is still everywhere in the world. A special holiday. What is the holiday celebrate to us? Hashem says, let's do one more day together. And with this we go to Simchat Torah, as we know, dancing with the Torah. In Israel, it's a part of Shmini Atzeret. Here we do it a separate day, Simchat Torah. But there's another very deep meaning in this idea that God says the day after Sukkot, the day number 8, God says, let's do one more day together. And the reason is, Kashe alai pridatchem. It's very hard for me, the separation. That's the literal translation. The simple meaning is, as we said before, that God says, it's very hard for me to separate from you after all these 7 days that we were together. But there's another explanation. And that explanation means that God says, Kashe alai, it's hard for me, pridatchem, to see the way you are being separated from each other. God says, let's do the 8th day, that we should be together, because soon as we leave, you people, Am Israel, I see separation. I see that you're not together. And this is what God says, let's be together, not only God and us. Pridatchem means also, I can't see the separation between Jews. Kashe alai, it's hard for me to see the way Jews are separated. Let's be together. Let's all Jews be together. And as we know, it's easier not to be separated from Hashem. It's harder not to be separated from other Jews. As the famous story always says, anecdote about the rabbi when he had a court case with 2 people. And one had his opinion and the other had his opinion, self-understood. And the rabbi made a verdict about this particular person, told him, you have to pay the money to the other fellow. And that person did not take that verdict so well. Very, very not well. And he turns to the rabbi, how could you do this to me? The rabbi answers him, I don't understand, why are you so mad? You came to me previously a week ago about something that you did, and I told you to give tzedakah, a much bigger amount. And you were good with that. Now that I made a verdict to give him the money, pay him back, why are you so mad? So he answers the rabbi, this is tzedakah, I don't mind, but I don't want to give the other guy. And that story means a lot. God says, to separate between me and you, I know it's not as hard. But to separate between 2 Jews, God says, Kashe alai, it's very hard for me to see that. And the Rabbi once spoke about it in Lent, and he said, this is the lesson that we got to take from this holiday. Not only that we have to be in unity with Hashem, even though that's all we always talk about, the idea of Sukkah, the idea of Shmini Atzeret, that Hashem wants to be together with us, and we should be together with Him. But the Rebbe said there's another meaning to that. Kashe alai pridatchem means Hashem says it's so hard for me to see the separation between Jews. And God says, please, let's learn something from this holiday. Let's be all united. And with this message of the Rebbe, let's stay all together, the holiday of Sukkot, the holiday of Shmini Atzeret, the holiday of Simchat Torah. Let's be united with God. Let's be united with Torah. And even more so, let's be all united between ourselves. Or with all that, we should have a great simcha and a great joy and a beautiful holiday with Hashem and all of us together. Be well and Chag Sameach.